everyone. This is former UFC fighter, Soul of the Hulk, and to my right,
that guy, Marcus. Which is a bit of a letdown after what you announced yourself, wasn't it?
Mate, it was like one of those Bruce Buffer moments, Michael Buffer moments where I was introducing. But this is our first podcast of, and what's our podcast name?
Well, it's actually called Not Just Mining. That's right.
Okay.
I had to think about that. It is our first show.
Yeah, it is the first show.
That's right. Yeah. Which is good because I think we're going to be talking about some aspects of mining, but we're going to be talking the mining industry and the people that work out in the mining industry, and it's not going to be
just mainly general news, isn't it? Sports, and we're going to be talking about different things.
I think so. Yeah, and get some feedback as we move along.
Absolutely, and we obviously with being not just mining. How do we come up with the name?
Oh, well, actually, I'm glad you asked. Yeah. There's a third person. She's behind the camera up there.
Awesome.
And she may or may not have, had an influence on that name as well. Our producer.
Come up with the whole name anyway. So.
Casey.
But I think it's a great name because we're kind of getting out to the people in the mining, especially when going through COVID and people in isolation, and at least they've got something to listen to, whether they're driving in the truck and they've got the USB in, and listening. Our weekly podcast.
I think it's great. Exactly. Yes, that's right. With everything that's been happening lately, it's been challenging for a lot of people out there, and a big thank you to everyone out there working their backsides off to keep the country. And I'm saying the country. We're talking WA miners here, I guess, but the country going. It is tough. They're out there for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks away. There's even people from interstate who are staying away from their family to continue working. I mean, I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's hard. But before we go into that discussion, but I kind of want to pull the reins back a little bit, and I want to introduce, obviously, a lot of people don't know who you are, but they know who I am, but no one knows who you are because you're a nobody. But Marcus, can you give us a rundown on what you've done and why you're here? Because I don't know why you're here, but even though this is your place.
And the food's coming, by the way, yeah. So look, I've had a bit of a background in mining. Back in the early 90s, I worked in the mining industry and then left the mining industry, worked in the WA police for quite a few years, and then revolved my role from there, staying with government into a department of mining as a mines inspector, based in Kalgoorlie, and then also based in Perth as an investigator for some of the unfortunate incidents that happened on site. And since then, look, I'd like to think I've acquired some skills, but I've certainly got to know a lot of people out in the industry, and mining is in my blood, I guess, and I love it. To do this, so honestly, mate, all bullshit aside, it's really good for you and I to put this out here, and I'm excited about what's coming up because...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've paid me a shitload of money to be here with you. No,
mate, 50 cents a day, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just joking. I'm here for something that we are passionate about, not only on the mental health space, but we are passionate about helping people, obviously getting the news out and some of the stuff. I know you're going to be interviewing some people some people in the mining industries that we can kind of maybe play some of our interviews in pre-start and stuff.
Exactly, that's right. That's something that we spoke about before, which where we might even look at putting 5-minute short videos together. Very quickly, I'll tell you, there's been instances I spent a short time. I'm saying about 5 years at the most in the Department of Mines, and during that time, I saw a lot of incidents. I was able to, with our regulatory role, change a few things for the better, which is good. That gave us the power to do that. But we came across a lot of things, and every time I go to a mine site, I talk at pre-starts and we talk about incidents that we've come across, and it's all about learning at the end of the day. So I think that's a big thing. So something we thought about is putting 5-minute videos together that people can watch during pre-start, where we can interview, whether it be Andrew Chaplin from the DMRS, or whether it be someone like Carlo Callahan who'd be happy to come on board to talk about how some of the incidents happen, some of the things they've seen during their whole career, and it's all, learning from what's happened in the past and making it a safer place. So I think that's important.
Safety first, isn't it?
It is safety first, 100%.
So that's so we've got a lot of that interviews and that coming up. But you were a police officer as well, but before this.
Yeah. So I spent 10 to 12 years in the police. Worked my way through traffic, and I was at Major Crash, and
so you would have seen a lot of horrific things, car accidents, and
I did, and it's older. Yeah, look, I think what it highlights it is education is a big thing here. Yeah. We came every 2 or 3 days here in WA. You come across I hate to say it, a fatal crash. 2 or 3 days, something happens somewhere in WA. And our old saying at the Major Crash used to be, I was going to do that again there, just because I know you're going to say that. Yeah, go on, just try.
Just don't touch me again.
Our old saying is, we challenge you to the public, we challenge you to put us out of a job. Because we don't, and our boss was really good. He goes, the more you guys are sitting in the office, the better the world is, because it meant that we weren't going out to fatal crashes. But going back to it, a lot of the incidents we saw were split-second decisions, and that's just not just with driving a car. We all drive cars, but it's also with mining. It's with anything you do in life. It's that split second that I hate to say it. There were incidents where I have a wife and I have 3 kids. Mother's driving along and their child didn't put the seatbelt on or unhooked the seatbelt. She's turned around, on a main highway, 110 kilometres an hour, turned around, failed to pay attention, and unfortunately had a head-on collision. And these things happen all the time, and it's a human thing. So yeah,
that's terrible, and I'm sure we will go more into those things throughout the podcast. We've got a podcast that happens every week. Yep.
Every week we're gonna meet here every week for a pizza, and then we might have a chat.
Yeah, and obviously we've heard Marcus and. Not saying he's a nobody, but he's obviously explained that he's a somebody at some stage of his life. But everyone knows who I am. If you don't know who I am, but just Google my name.
Stop it. Yeah. No. I did actually. I'm just going to just have a quick look. I've heard about you before.
Yeah, you have. But anyway, so obviously being in the fitness game for a long time, you're a former UFC fighter. When I was competing in the UFC, I played a bit of rugby here and there, but obviously UFC was my kind of end sport where I ended my sporting career. Made great fun. Then I've gone into a few movies here and there. So
still waiting for my call, but
Let's you didn't get anything from Marcus about no, Marcus. You could become a good movie star if you. Yeah, we could use you.
Like an extra in the background drinking a beer.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do. I could naturally drink a beer in the background and it'd look normal.
Anyway, before Marcus interrupted my my introduction of myself, but don't touch me again. Jeez. Anyway, Marcus, but that's it. That's my life good. And what we've been doing. We've been on a tear with those whole mental health stuff with strong minds, and trying to get the awareness out there, getting people to have that conversation, talk, and remove that stigma. A lot of people, especially men, and especially men that have problems to reaching out and talking, especially on mine sites and that as well. It's kind of dominated through that whole men, even though there's a lot of women now that are getting employed by mining companies, which is a great thing. Awesome. They're more likely to have that conversation. Sit down with their girlfriends, have a cup of coffee, and a lot of guys, they can talk about their brand new cars.
Well, guys are meant to be on the outside. We're meant to be tough, aren't we? Yeah, and this is you've made such a difference already in what you're doing on mine sites. And we're talking about a man here who's a 3-time heavyweight champion in the octagon. And is talking to people about mental health, and it just shows it doesn't matter who you are to talk about what you've got, and it's the sites that I go to. Your name's very well known, not just for punching people, but also for for what you've done, mate. It's a big thing. It's a credit to you. So.
And I've dealt with the whole with depression and anxiety and stuff. I'm sure you have as well. Like you've gone through some time in your life where, especially rocking up and to a crash investigation, and you're seeing things that no one else sees, but you see it. So, and that kind of stays with you. And same as myself. I've dealt with a lot of things throughout my life, but then you find. And my thing now is educate like you, like knowledge is power, and educate people into having that conversation and stuff. Right. So, and but we'll talk more on that in the next coming weeks of with stuff that we're doing with mental health.
Yep.
We're also going to be having some games that we're going to be playing games against. And
you're going to stick your hand in a box, and there could be a rattlesnake in there, or something.
And you're going to be swimming with a shark. So
apparently so. And and you're coming on a ghost hunting adventure. So there's so much ahead. You've got no idea. This is going to be great.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
But yeah, but we'll. We're going to have a lot of fun in the next couple of weeks. We're a long time, I guess.
No, this is great. And look, obviously this is a bit of an intro, but I think we've and behind the scenes we've been working on getting this together in the last not just this week. It's been a couple of months that we've worked together to do this, and we're very excited to move this ahead and put this out there. And it's going to be a form of podcast, and it'll also be, obviously, as you can see, we're also going to be filming it to put it out on YouTube. So I guess we're trying to, and thanks to Casey as well, we're trying to put it out as many different social medias that we can, because some people watch YouTube, some people listen to podcasts, and primarily, I guess, we are aiming it at the people out on the site on mining at the moment, but I think it's for anyone and everywhere. And
originally, when we first spoke about this, we really wanted to kind of you really wanted to hit that target where you're interviewing people in the mining industry. And educating the workers on stuff, or new incentives, new stuff that they've brought out into just different things, and what I thought about, I thought, geez, why don't we put it all together? And do a whole podcast and talk about just everything. We could sit there and have a chin wag about talking about different things, whether it's Clive Palmer trying to get into WA, or
you've already fucking spent you've already spent too much time talking about that guy.
But the COVID-19 on how it's affecting people. So there's so many things that we're going to obviously touch base on, and we're going to have some great times. We're going to have some laughs, and we're going to spend your money, and that you've spent a lot of money on this. So this is where we're doing it from, is the headquarters. So Marcus Rader, that guy's headquarters.
It's yours as much as mine. I did that again. I've done it again.
It was funny you said, I put my hand in your pocket, and it was so deep, I had to reach right down, lost my hand, because you had deep pockets.
But it felt good.
There's something for you.
There you go.
I just didn't go that way. I just went straight down. People are going to think, what the hell is he doing in his pockets?
Well, that's what we do, isn't it?
I know.
No, it's exciting times ahead, mate.
And we should do this. Here's another thing we should do. We should do an 8-week challenge, right? And
it's a long time.
An 8-week challenge, and or we should do a fitness kind of challenge. So
I'd love to, but I'm so fit. I feel that if I get any fitter, I'm going to fade away to nothing.
No, it's an 8-week challenge.
As you walk
it's an 8-week challenge for you to drop weight. Yeah.
That's my point.
No. We should do something, some challenge or something. I guess we'll get our producer, Case, to come up with some stuff. And,
I think so. And on that, I think what's important is we're going to look at, whether it's right or wrong to talk about now, we're going to talk a little bit some sponsorship, and that sponsorship is going to be able to give away some things to our viewers and our listeners. I think that's important. So, we're going to look at different sponsorships that could give us prizes to give away, have a laugh. I mean, this first video is a bit of an introduction, but believe you me, it's only going to get better from here, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. And in saying that, with our prizes and stuff, and where we want to be with this show, 6 months to a year from now, if I haven't stabbed you in the neck. I'm joking. That wasn't.
That's okay.
No, if I no, but
is that how you used to win your fights?
Where we want to go, we obviously want to get out to the rural and remote places. We want to get out onto the mine sites. We want to do our podcasts everywhere. So we kind of want to get out there and have a bit of fun with it. And mate, I'd love to get out to the rural and remote places. That'd be awesome.
100%. And there's some great places out there. So, and you've just hit the nail on the head on something I was going to actually mention, is that mining. A lot of mining nowadays is FIFO, fly in, fly out, which obviously is tough for the people that fly in and fly out. But there's also all those little towns, whether it's Leonora or Laverton, all the way up to Horse Creek, Broome. Yeah, people say Broome's a great holiday spot, but people still fly in and out of that place. Argyle, across WA, we're such a big state.
Yeah.
And there's so many small communities which people decide to live in these communities and stay in these communities and work on their sites. You know, I think I'd love to do a roadshow sometime.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Go and do a roadshow up and down and maybe throw on a ghost hunting adventure in there.
Maybe you should. I tell you what, I was just at Laverton.
Yep.
And there was
Laverton.
a pub there, and I thought
Shout out
to
to the Desert
myself,
Inn.
what was it called?
Desert Inn.
Desert Inn.
Yeah,
and
good
I
people.
tell you what, it's something freaky about that place. When
There
I
is.
walked in, and I thought, geez, this would be a good place for Marcus to come and do his ghost hunting tour here.
Let's do it.
Ghost hunting tour.
I'm glad you brought it up. So there you go. You've heard it directly from Sower the Hole. He's going to Laverton.
I believe, do not venture in that kind of spiritual kind of world, because you could bring something back with you, and all of a sudden you were sleeping there and someone's standing on top of you. You don't even. Are you not scared of something just coming and maybe just following you everywhere? And
no, there's look.
You'd be standing there in a meeting, having a meeting, and all of a sudden your pants fall down.
That's happened without the ghosts. I've arrested someone before and my pants have dropped without even meaning it, but that's another story. No, I'm not.
Okay,
we'll talk about that another time.
We'll talk about that another time. About your pants dropping.
That's right.
Nightclub, is it?
No, there as well. Actually, talk about nightclubs. You were a bit of a nightclub goer back in your day, weren't you?
Back in the day.
You in Perth?
Back in the day, back in the metros. We've got good
Metros,
old metros.
Yeah.
Worked at the Swinging Pig, back at Gosnell's, Studebakers, everywhere. But geez, that's some fun times back in the day.
Yeah, it was good
back
days
in the
back then.
day, people used to punch on with hands.
And that was it. And once they drop, help them up and have a beer.
Nowadays, they're like,
that coward punch is
people hitting people from behind, but you just don't know what happens these days. I mean, we can talk about this on one of the other podcasts, because I'll be interested. I want to know, the stuff that you kind of got into and what you were doing back in the day.
Nothing. I used to go to the book club or the library, just read books.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I didn't really know English back then.
You're not really a book person. What's your background, Marcus? You're Russian? No.
No, Russian. I do like vodka, there's no doubt about that. But no, I'm German, so I came to Australia when I was 10 years old. And
Guten Tag, und schnell.
Yes. And it's funny, whenever you tell someone you're German, all they talk about is porn.
Was it?
Oh, schnell and this, that.
What is it, schnell?
Schnell means quick.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the story of my life.
Where did the whole get that from? Und schnell, yeah?
Schnell, yeah.
Und schnell?
Yeah, my wife goes, stop being so schnell. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. So you were born there?
I was born in Germany. I grew up in Germany until I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
My parents migrated to WA in 1985, which we came and we lived here in Perth, metropolitan area, in Cardinia. I went to Kublai Primary School, North Lake High School.
Yeah.
I hated school because everyone hated me, I'll be honest. I probably left school at age of 14 or 15.
Yeah.
My dad gave me an option and I joined the Navy.
Was obviously being from Germany, you've got that whole Hitler stuff that happened back in the day. Has it ever? Obviously, people have changed over the years and evolved over the years, but has that ever come into the whole racist and?
100%.
Is it still around now?
Not now. No. We've grown as we've grown as far as differences with people's racial backgrounds, I should say.
Yeah.
When I came to Australia, I'll be honest, Australians knew more about Hitler and what happened with the Jewish people than I did, and maybe we were protected from that in Germany, or we had a different. When I say protected, we didn't talk about it. I'm not sure, but I learned about all that more when I came to Australia, to be perfectly honest. And it wasn't a fun upbringing here in Australia. No, people didn't. I think children can be very cruel, but I think also children are also educated by their parents.
Yeah.
So when I'm 10 years old or 11 years old at school, and children talk about Jewish people and what the Germans did, right? they were learning how to read and write. So that would have come from a parent. So back then, I think it was a lot more open to talk about that kind of thing. So, or racism was a bit harder than that. But look, it made me who I was, and I dropped out of school a bit.
Yeah. I think it's not also. I think it's part of the media that you know.
Yeah, it puts it into people's
minds as well. And obviously, you were saying that it does come from the parents because it's from the parents from the parents' parents and the parents' parents that filter that down through, you know, believing, hey, listen, this is what's happened, and obviously.
Oh, I've no doubt if you know, and you know, back in 1985 or in the early 80s, if you know, Japanese.
Well, I have till this day have a lot of discrimination against myself. I walked into a place called KFC, and as I walked in. As soon as I walked in, the guys from behind the counter said, "Oh," they just rolled their eyes and go, "Oh my God,
it's you again."
It's me again. So they think that I'm actually going to eat all the KFC, but I'm not. I'm only going to have like 15 pieces of KFC.
But they make buckets that size.
How could they? My thing is, how could they discriminate and think that I'm going to eat like 4 buckets of KFC
when you're only going to eat one?
But I used to do that in the past, but not now. I'm just cut it down to 15 pieces. So they shouldn't. Think that anyway, and
this is why, just so you know, someone does go to site, and
it is all
the buffets do get.
I tell you what,
do get cut down a bit because
the first time I went on site, it was amazing because I thought all this food on site is free, and then the food started talking to me. I'm tell you how the food started talking to me when I was walking through. You just grabbing everything, and then the custard and the pie. When I was walking past it started talking to me. He goes, eat me. So first thing I did, I was like, geez, I don't want. I've got to eat. I've got to eat the thing, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So you're there to please people and food. Yeah.
And you could easily put on a lot of weight on site. Everything's free.
You'd think I'd be on site every day, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking?
I know some people. I don't know if you've heard it. Some people complain about the food.
Oh, you know what? And I've been to so many different sites. And look, food's important, but I think just be grateful for what you got. Yeah, exactly. And no disrespect to people out there that they have vegetarian, they have to by law put out there what what allergies there are and everything else. Yeah. There are so many different options that most of the sites, and you would have known Tropicana, Sunrise. You can actually order a steak how you want it cooked, a fish, chicken, apart from what already is on the buffet, which is awesome. So I think. Yeah, I'm with you there. But I also say that we're there probably for not as long as a lot of the people up there. So it's probably one of those things where you're there for a longer time, and you get maybe after a week or two, you do just look. You're hanging out for your wife's cooking. I guess.
Things could be worse than that. You could be in Africa or somewhere with third world countries where they're struggling to eat and they're hunting for food for their families. So,
that's right.
I remember seeing a documentary that actually in Africa they're actually when they're hunting for food, they're hunting for rats.
Rats.
I'm telling you, rats.
Wow, that's crazy.
And they actually go into the burrows, and I don't know if you've seen it, Casey, right?
No.
They're actually hunting and the rats coming in. They're cooking it. It's like it's not.
Out of all the conversations we've had in the last 25 minutes, why would you throw that one to Casey? I don't know about you, Casey.
No, because Casey's a media guru. Like
but you just threw to her whether she was hunting for rats.
No, but just
weird, isn't it? Out of all the things, I'm
sure.
I'm feeling attacked now.
She's seen a few rats in her days.
You feel attacked when I do that.
But yeah, anyway.
No. Yeah, you're spot on. Yeah, and I think it's all about being grateful for what you've got.
100%.
Yeah.
So we're going to we've got a lot coming up.
Oh, mate, we've got so many topics. We've written down a couple of topics we're going to talk about. I think we've covered the first two and a bit of an intro. So there's exciting days ahead.
Yeah, we can kind of obviously talk about other stuff and upcoming podcasts, and there's so many things to kind of chat about.
A lot of things happening. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Very quickly before we do finish, because I think our time's nearly up, but we are looking at hopefully getting up to Diggers and Dealers. I just want to throw that plug in there. Diggers and Dealers is a big thing. I've been there for the last 5 or 6 of them. I haven't missed one of them. This time it's usually in June, July. It's been pushed over to October because of the circumstances, but we've both committed to going up there, and we're hopefully going to do a couple of shows from Diggers and Dealers and pull some of the big wigs in there, like Billy Beaumont, Stuart Tonkin, Mike Erickson, some really good people in the mining industry that have basically, I guess, their history has made what it is today, which is great.
Yeah, it's understanding a lot of people come from overseas as well.
Yes,
from eastern states as well. What is this? So what is this big event that happens at Kalgoorlie?
So Diggers and Dealers actually very quickly it originated from very originally originated from the Windsor Hotel, believe it or not, but it went from the Palace Hotel, and it was from a gentleman called Mr. Wise who started it all up. And in fact, you know what? I want you to put this. I'll try and get Mr. Wise, WISE, and he also makes wine and champagne. I'm going to get him. Let's get him on the show.
It's not from Wise Wineries.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I used to train his son.
Yes,
Dan.
His son is actually with Tash.
Yes.
Yes.
And they got married and they went to South Africa.
Yes.
And they had a honeymoon there.
Well, there you go.
And do you know what happened?
Well, I can imagine.
Yeah, they got held up. No, they didn't.
Oh,
actually, yeah. It was,
okay. Well, I was expecting a more romantic.
Yeah, if it's the same,
encounter.
if the same
It'd be the same.
So he come up with this whole idea.
Yes, he started it, and he's a very good friend of Alan Bond as well.
Okay.
And he's got some great stories to tell. And I said to him last time I stayed with him at a friend of ours' place, Ashrock in Kalgoorlie. We stayed at his place, and he actually said to us, I said to him, mate, you got to write a book. And he goes, oh, I'm getting to it. I said, no, you have to write a book. He told me some stories that were awesome. So let's get him on the show.
Absolutely.
To get the person on the show who started Diggers and Dealers is huge. And Diggers and Dealers, getting back to your first question, is basically about it's about investment, but it's also about getting the corporate mining people together, running some deals. People who have businesses try and advertise themselves. But mate, the big decision makers are up there, and I think it'd be great to be able to have a show.
I heard a lot of deals get done at the pub.
They do.
Really?
Oh yeah. I might have been involved with a couple of them, but
You've got 3 minutes left.
3 minutes left.
We should start wrapping things up. But that'll be awesome. I can't wait to get up there with you. Where are you staying?
Oh, wherever you're staying. No, I
I've
have
only
no
got a
doubt.
single bed. Unless you want to do spoons or something.
Well,
We'll hug each other. Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
No, mate, I'll probably, each time I'll stay with a friend of mine, Ashrock, who's up there, and he has a lot to do with the Diggers and Dealers.
Yeah.
And a big shout out to the Palace Hotel, who do a lot of work for the Diggers and Dealers up there. I think it's great. So, mate, I'll give him a call, and I have no doubt that he's got plenty of room. And mate, you know what? We'll swag it.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Well,
Let's do it. We're doing it for these people here, so let's go up there and do it. And
Before we wrap up, I want to apologise for everyone. I know when I walked in today, Casey said I had a glow. So if I've got a glow and I look really good, just from modelling career that I used to have when I was modelling.
I've taken that glow away by sitting next to you.
So as you can see, when I look like that, you see the cheekbones.
Yeah. No, go.
You see?
Yeah, I can. But show off your teeth, mate. So there you go. The whole
Two
teeth.
gold teeth. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
You took
This
that.
guy. I think you've gone a little bit overboard there, Marcus.
Mate.
But you want to wrap it up, Marcus? Who are you going to wrap it up?
Oh no, how do we wrap up?
Okay, we just.
I can't even put a present together.
Yeah.
You know what? This has been awesome. It's been a great show.
It has been.
Mate, happy
Awesome.
days.
Well, we'll see you on the next podcast.
Definitely be there. Peace out.